There's plenty to see, there's plenty to do in Miss Caroline's cupboard. Hi girls, and welcome to your maths lesson. So for this week, I am setting you a project. Your project is to create your own math board game. So that is what you have to do today. Well, today and the next day and the next day and the next day. Create your own math board game. Think about what that means. Think about what you're going to have to do. So let's go through some ideas. So think about board games. What have we got here? We have got a board game is something you make at home, and it's, here we go, let me make this bigger for you. There we go. So when you're making board games at home, think about the equipment that you're going to use. Think about the resources, materials that you can use to create your board. So it could be a big piece of paper or cardboard. You could use a cereal box. You could even use material so that you could roll up your board and play it later. Let's have a look at another one here. Here we go, have a look at that one. Think about the shape in which your board is going to be. So this one is like a squirrely whirly snake with little bridges and shortcuts. This one here, it's got some right angles and colours. Now think about what you could do for each colour. Let's say you land on a green. You could have 4 sets of cards, red, yellow, green and blue. If you land on a green, you have to pick up a green card and answer a question off the green card. If you land on a blue, you have to pick up the blue card and answer that one. You could even have little flaps. For example, let's have a look. You know, like on a book, where you have little flaps that open up. Well, you could have that on your here. So let's add a layer so that these are actually little flaps that lift up and fold back down again. So when you land on it, you can lift up that flap and answer the question. It could be a double layered flap. You can have the answer as well to find out if you're correct. Let's see what else we have here. So, wow, look at that one. So they've used some paint there, different designs. What else do we have? You could have a circular one. Let's get rid of our flaps. A circular shape that starts in the middle. It's like a spiral, isn't it, that goes all the way around. The other thing you need to think about, girls, is your little pieces that you're going to play with. So for example, take a look at this one. They've used candies as theirs, but they've also made little animals, little farm animals. I think they're little cows, or they're horses. Tomatoes. Oh, I don't think they're candies. I think they're meant to be maybe hay bales. What do you think? Of the farm. That's cool how they've made items from the farm. What have they used on this one? So on this one, you can see they've got 2 sets of cards, blue cards and yellow cards. And then they have their little pieces, little plastic pieces. Now, I don't want you to use your own plastic pieces. I want you to create your pieces. So for example, you could do something with tiny little bits of cardboard that stand up like this. You can create your own little characters, so each can pick their own. So I want you to be really creative with this, girls. I want you to think of all the ways in which you've seen board games and try to get as creative as possible. Think about the different ways in which you could get around the board. Do you need a dice? You can always go online and find an online dice if you don't have one at home, or you could make one. Remember, we use nets. You could make a net of a cube and then create your own dice. So what do you have to include? Let's get rid of all of these. And go to, oops, what you have to include. Here we go. So this is what we're looking for, and this is what we're going to grade you on. You are going to need to name your game. So it needs to have a cool, funky name, whatever that's going to be. You need to provide the rules of your game so people know how to play it. So have a look at some board game rules and see how they're written, so you can write yours the same, in the same structure. You are going to need to create the pieces to play your game. So think about, maybe it's a 2-player game, so you need to create 2. If it was a 4-player game, or up to 4, you need to create 4. You're going to have to create your board. However, you're going to do that. And then this is the main thing. This is maths. So you have to have a maths focus. So think about how you're going to incorporate all of these topics below. We have the 4 operations: plus, minus, multiplication, divide. We have percentages, fractions, shape, including triangles, quadrilaterals, and polygons, octagons. You remember? Decimals, angles, ratio, and algebra. So when you're creating your little cards, let's say perhaps they land on a red square and they have to pick up the red card. So all of the red card questions could be about fractions, for example. So it could be simplify the fraction 4/8. And that could be written on the card. So you'd have your card, like so. And then you would have it written on there, simplify 4/8. Okay, now where do you put the answer? Because you're going to have to put the answers somewhere. So what you could do is you could put the answer at the bottom, very small. You could put the answer at the bottom here. So then if you landed on red, your opponent, the other person playing, they would pick up the card and they would read the question to you. So they would say, simplify 4/8, and you would give them the answer and they would tell you if you were correct or not. Okay, but you need to have those answers written somewhere. Think about that and how you're going to do that. You could even do a little spinny thing like here. Can you see that spinner on the board? Okay, girls, so you need to include all of these things that you can see in the what you must include section. Let's just delete that bit so we can see it clearly. There we go. You need to include all of these things. If you do not include one of these things, your mark will be significantly lower. So make sure you include all of these things. We are so excited to see these games. So you are going to spend, really plan out your time here, because we're going to give you at least 2 lessons to create your board game. 2 full lessons to create your board game. And then on the 3rd lesson, you can finish and play your game. Okay, so really structure your time well. Okay, girls, if you have any questions, please do ask your teacher or rewatch the video. Good luck. We're very excited to see these games. And what we would like you to do is on the first day, take photos of your progress. Your parents could take photos of you making the game. Same on the 2nd day. And then on the 3rd day, we want pictures of you playing that game. And we need pictures of evidence of each one of the things that you need to include on that 3rd day. Okay, girls, good luck. And we will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.